Thanks, everyone. If we could start to make our way in and take our seats, please. I'll give it a minute or so to let everyone find their seat, make their way back in. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. What a fascinating morning so far. I'm learning an awful lot. It's inspiring as well to hear so many voices. Thank you. Make yourself comfortable. I don't know if anyone's using the translation headpieces. I should have said we do have translation services available if anyone requires. There are headsets outside. Okay. So thank you all so much for being here for our final talk before lunch. And I am absolutely thrilled to have here on stage. We dragged him kicking and screaming, trust me, Rashad Tabiat, the CEO and owner of Al Othman and Tabiat General Trading Company. It is genuinely a huge treat for us to have Rashad here to speak to us, because I know it's not his comfort zone. So we'll make it as easy as possible. We're just going to have a small chat.
Thank you very much.
Born and raised in Kuwait, Rashad's father, I believe, opened Al Othman, which is the first luxury high-end multi-brand boutique in Kuwait, opening in 1956.
1956,
which
correct.
is huge when you think, we just heard Elisab is 40 years old. So to have established in 1956 is
66 years.
It's a tremendous achievement, tremendous achievement.
Thank
Was
you.
really the pioneer in bringing European luxury brands to the Middle East.
Yeah, my father started, like you said, my father started the business in 1956, and it went naturally. Honestly, Kuwait was a society that invited us, welcomed us very warmly, and they embraced us, and they loved the brands that we were bringing, and they had very good taste, fantastic appetite to what we offered, and it all went, on forward. I'm sorry, I'm very nervous. I don't normally speak. I don't know how I sound on microphone. This is my first microphone ever.
You sound wonderful,
so please bear
Rashad.
with me.
How did your father? Thank you. How did your father get into fashion, or what prompted this?
My grandmother was a designer in Lebanon, and she used to she had her own creations. And, she would create in Lebanon, and they had a store that they would sell her things. And, in Lebanon, in Beirut during the winter, and in the summer, they would go up to the mountains in Hamdoun, where it was really mostly Kuwaitis that came every summer to Hamdoun. They had homes. And he met a lot of friends. He made a lot of friends from Kuwait who liked what we had offered. And some people asked him, "Why don't you come and try and see Kuwait? It's a starting market. Why don't you come and try?" And the first visit was in 1954. He came. He spent a little bit of time. He went back, and then he came back in 1956 and established the first store in Shari' Fahd al-Salim, in the downtown of Kuwait. And here we are. Since my mother was one of the first females to ever work in a boutique in Kuwait. That's a story that I remember that she used to tell us.
Was she proud of that? How was that experience for her?
I think yes. It was a very small community, very welcoming. So my sisters, myself, we were all born here. This is home. We're proud to be in Kuwait. We're proud to have launched in Kuwait, and we continue to feel whatever we do, we're still a Kuwaiti concept. That's how we consider ourselves. I don't have to have the passport, Kuwaiti passport. But deep inside, I feel I'm Kuwaiti, like everyone else here who's Kuwaiti. And I took over. After I finished college, I took over, and it was right after the invasion. I started before, but then the invasion happened. But I took it. My father made the decision to retire, and I took over right after that. And it took me some time. I made a lot of mistakes, but now we're in. Things developed, evolved, and we're now in 4 countries. We have a store in Bahrain. That was the first store we opened, and then we opened in London, a store. We're now opening in Qatar in June, end of June. And we're renovating London as well. So we have a lot of plans that we're doing. But we continue, we remain true to what we've done.
Yeah.
And to our identity. We're very focused on who we are, what we are. We're not trying to adapt to any of the markets that we go into. What we have here is what we're trying to replicate.
Yeah. And when you went into the business,
Right.
was fashion a particular interest?
It was never, honestly, an interest. My sisters decided not to be in the business. I always thought my sisters would take over, but they didn't, and I had to. And to me, it was a business. And I think initially when I started, it was, what the hell am I doing? This is not me. And then it became a challenge to find a balance between the business and the commercial side of the industry and the creative side of the industry. And I faced a lot of challenges because when I took over, a lot of people would tell you that Al Othman was considered for our mothers. The parents went to Al Othman. Young people didn't go to Al Othman. When I had started. At that time, we were dealing with a lot of German brands, Escada, L'Oreal, Betty Barclay. It was, a lot of very classical. German fashion is, it might have evolved now. I don't follow it anymore. But it was basically the same styles every season. They just changed colors. You didn't even have to go. What color do you have this season? Let's buy that. So there was no fashion, but Escad, at that time, those brands touched on, colorful, good quality, and, they had a range of sizes for everyone. So when I took over, I wanted different things. I saw that if we had stayed and remained working in that direction, we were going to lose our market share because, you had a new generation coming. So we wanted to evolve. And that was my biggest challenge because at that time, all the big brands were either at Villa Moda, as Imran had said, everyone wanted to be with Villa Moda, or Al Ustura. And where do you go? Every brand I like, no, sorry, we sell to Al Ustura, we sell to Villa Moda. Al Ustura, Villa Moda. So that took me, I had to discover new ways of getting into the business. And I have to thank, to be honest, at that time, Majid Al-Sabah, the founder and owner of Villa Moda, who told me, Rashad, why don't you, you're very well known for your evening wear. Why don't you go to the States? There's Oscar de la Renta, there's Marchesa, Monique Loulier. Why don't you work with those? And that was one of the best advice, honestly, anyone has ever given me. And that's what we did. And we established ourselves soon after as an evening wear destination. And I hope that we still are. I mean, people trust us with their evening wear choices. At the same time, that was not enough. We had to evolve and find different brands, to find our identity in everything. Not everything. You can't satisfy everyone's tastes, but we wanted to find ourselves in, let's say, in other ready-to-wear, not just evening wear. And it was a very funny story. I was working, by chance, I discovered Matthew Williamson just before it at one point became big. He was this small collection in an Italian showroom. And the owner of the showroom begged me, please, why don't you make a small selection? And I looked at it, some nice kaftan tops and so on. So I made a very small selection. And it came, it arrived, and my wife and I were sitting in the store. We opened the magazine. She says, "Look, it's Britney Spears wearing this peacock caftan top." And I had ordered a few of them. And I immediately called the showroom, the showroom, the agent, and I said, "Can we get some more of these tops?" And that was the start of Matthew Williamson for us at that time. And I wanted to, it became, the business with Matthew Williamson became so big for us that we thought, okay, there's a line of, English designers, Temperley and so on, that we should tap into, that no one else was tapping into. Everyone was really going after the big brands.
This
Everyone
is the 2000s, right? Yeah.
This was, yeah, I would say exactly early 2000s. Yeah, early 2000s. And so I started going to London. And I remember the experience that pushed me further into this is, I wanted to do a shop-in-shop for Matthew Williamson. So the president and the partner at that time, Joseph of Matthew Williamson, came and he saw the store. He said, "I'm not going to have my stuff with Escada and L'Oreal. This is very old. This is for older clients. And no, I'm sorry, we're not going to do this." He said, "You should have, Roland Mouret. You should have, I don't know." He started naming different young brands that I've never heard of, to be honest. And I was writing them down. And I got on a plane. I went to Harvey Nichols in London. At that time, Harvey Nichols, the first floor, was really the best edit you can find anywhere in London. And I started getting names, and I started contacting these people, and no one worked with them here in Kuwait. That's how it's all started. And I started focusing on younger brands, emerging brands, while keeping my strength and presence in evening wear. And that's how it all, began, for me at least. That's where my stamp, I managed to put my stamp on the business. But I had a very strong, loyal customer base that my father gave me. Yeah. Honestly, we had I'm proud to say that we have the most loyal customer base in Kuwait. I mean, we love Kuwait; they love us. We're products of Kuwait.
Yeah, and I want to ask you about that customer because you've seen her evolve. Her style has moved on, maybe her children's style, they've grown up, they've developed style. Who is that Kuwaiti customer? You know her probably better than anyone in this room.
We're dealing with fourth generation clients now. I remember the customers that I met when my father was still in the business. And when I made the changes, I used to be shouted at, "What did you do? Why are you changing? That's not what your father would want." Because they wanted the classical things that they were comfortable with. And I knew most of the customers. I knew since I was, a young child at the store. I would, very young, they knew who I was. They knew my mother. They knew my father. That customer has evolved. Kuwaiti customers are, I think, in the MENA region, and I say this with all honesty, is one of the most sophisticated, knowledgeable, savvy, trend-setting clients you could ever meet. I've found brands in New Zealand, and we've contacted them and said, "No, sorry, we've already had someone from Kuwait contact us." "How the hell did you get there to New Zealand?" "She's already been there." So honestly, we have to stay on top of our game all the time. We need to innovate, bring new things, bring new brands within our focus, within our direction. I'm not interested in the big brands, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga. That doesn't interest me. I want to be able to control my business. I don't want to work with anyone who's going to tell me how to do things. That's the difference. We have at Al Othman, the team, I built a fantastic team. I think this is my strength, is that we managed to put a fantastic team together. We all work together. We all have a say. We're 120 so colleagues. We're all 120 people working in the company, and any decision I make affects families of 120 people. So I try and make a decision together. We try and make a decision together whenever especially if it's a very important decision. We even, even the edits, even the buys, we're all involved. We would never get anything we don't believe in. If we don't like something, it's not about, it's definitely want to make money. We definitely want to survive. We want to be profitable. But that's not the only thing that drives us. We need to be proud. I'm very proud when I go, after a party happens in Kuwait and the next day I get calls, listen, 70% of the people were dressed from Al Othman. That makes me so proud, Yeah. So anyway, going back, sorry, I went in other places.
I'm
starting to like these things.
Yeah. We'll be here all day.
I might do it again. I might do it again. I think my customer, like I said, she's evolved. We're dealing, the newer generation, they know everything, honestly. And the online has opened up so many doors. You can't, you need to be price competitive. You need to have the right product at the right time. The timing is very important. And so all of this, it's a constant challenge. It's a constant challenge. And thank God, so far we've been able to keep it up.
Yeah. So obviously, evening wear is the foundation, or certainly was the foundation of the business. So let's talk about how you managed that through the pandemic. So we go into 2020. What percentage of Al Othman is evening wear at this stage?
Wow. I would say 60%.
Yeah. So it's the majority of the business.
Majority was evening wear. And it was devastating because we had received all of our, due to the Ramadan season changing. And at that time, in 2020, I believe Ramadan was starting in April or May probably. So we had, and parties don't happen, with all the parties happened before Ramadan. So we had received all the merchandise. And then we closed down. It was devastating. I spent, I didn't know how we would survive this, to be honest with you. And then, luckily, we talked and we decided, we had no choice but to bring in other things. We started focusing on daywear. And we started also working on home collections. And we were able to partner with very good people who supported us and did an amazing job. And it's worked very well for us, to be honest. And we also launched our online business at that time. We felt we had to reach out to customers, and we launched it in July 2020. We did have a small business previously. We had an outlet online, which was actually doing well. I can't remember. I'm trying to think why I stopped it. I can't remember. There's no, other than being a stupid decision. If I had known where we would be now with the online, but we had a lot of support from our partners, like Eli. It was, the financials were put aside. It was just, we were all supporting each other. Oscar de la Renta, everyone was very supportive, I would have to say. And we started focusing on, to try and balance, we did not want to be caught with another pandemic, because we had actually the second pandemic, during the resort season, December, January, February, the evening wear, when the country was not locked down, but people were afraid to go out because it was not deadly, but it was very contagious. And here, in the Middle East, we live with families, extended families, and we were all afraid to give it to anyone, to give this disease to anyone. So parties were canceled and so on. We did not want to get caught again, just focused on evening wear. That's why we tried to balance it. And I'm happy to say that now daywear has overtaken the evening wear business. I think we have a nice edit. We're focused on bringing designers that are not accessible everywhere. And with the good customer service, that's the constant we always have. We have a relationship with our customers that is unique, and we pride ourselves on that.
And the daywear is not coming from New Zealand?
Well, actually, maybe, close to New Zealand. But no, the daywear is coming from everywhere. It's whatever is nice, whatever is beautiful, priced well,
Yeah.
That's what we bring. That's you know, and so what we decide we saw that what worked for us is a combination of evening wear, home collection, and fashion forward day wear, not everything, not huge collection. So that's what the concept we decided to move into, to grow into, to do our expansion.
Yeah.
So that's what Qatar is going to be about. When we open end of October, we're opening in Sharib. It's a very nice location, very nice store. And that's what we're changing London into. We're renovating the whole store, and we will open mid-July in the same concept.
So for those who don't know, London is opened as On Motcom in 2013.
It's opened as an evening wear store. You see, what we opened in Bahrain first, I think in 2000, I don't remember the years, but 2000 maybe 7, 8, 9, I don't know, I can't remember. An evening wear store, and we actually, it does well, because we cater to the local market and we cater to the Saudi market, and we have very nice evening wear brands. And we're opening a bridal store in October in Bahrain. London, when we opened London, it was also about evening wear only and red carpet. And we saw a need for that in London because, Harrods had some evening wear. Other places didn't have any. But it lacked, the personal taste or of vision, let's say. It was just different designers displaying what they had. I think instead of working in an environment where, okay, you're given a space and you're a designer, put your space in there. I think what we're trying to, what we do, what we're good at, is adding our point of view to the buy. We are from Kuwait, we are from the Gulf, this is our culture, this is our history, this is our background. The buyers most of them are local, are Kuwaitis. We believe in local. This is a very creative society, very creative young people we have in Kuwait. And that's what we want to do. That's what we need to run it locally. And hopefully this will work and we can take that, it's like how Louis Vuitton has imposed his concept of a store, for the French concept everywhere in the world. Why can't we take our vision of Kuwait there?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, we're buying international products, but we have a lot of local designers as well. We do. We have a platform where we try and encourage local designers every year, and we welcome many designers. We have, Amna Salem is here. She's a very creative designer who showcases in our store, and we're very proud to have her. So it's these little things. We need to be involved in the community, and I think it's a beautiful community that we can export.
And how do you know? So when you're looking at a brand in South Korea, maybe, or wherever you're looking, you or your buying team, how do you know that's going to work for my Kuwaiti customer, wherever she is in the world? What is it? Is it just instinct, or are there certain boxes that need to be ticked?
I think as a group, because we sit together as a group, I know it's a bit time-consuming, but I don't imagine myself in the gowns. But I think they do. I think they do. But I bring in let's say, the reality of the situation.
Okay, the reality
of the situation. I look at the price.
Yeah.
I look at any restrictions that this piece could have, and we make a decision together. But and I do get voted outvoted a lot of the times, and they decide to go with a brand that I'm not convinced with. How did this evolve? I don't know. Is it experience? Is it instinct? Is it talent? I don't know, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned. But it's been working.
Yeah. What's working really well at the moment? Which brands or styles or?
Don't ask me these things. I don't know. Everything is working for us. Honestly, we're doing well.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say we're doing well. Evening wear, I would say, Eli, and not because Eli is here, but I think it's one of the best collections this season, along with Oscar de la Renta. I think Tony Machevsky is doing incredibly well for us. And we have a lot of the fashion-forward designers who I'm sure, you know.
Yeah. The appetite for dressing up has come back, do you think? There was a question during the pandemic whether everyone who's now used to staying in sweatsuits and, slides would stay like that, or whether we'd come back with a bang and all go full Great Gatsby.
I think it's only this appetite has always been there, even when it's just people, when they didn't go out, okay, they were, they wanted the sweatpants and probably the kaftans and so on. But even that, it was a designer, it was nice. It was, it wasn't just any kaftan, it wasn't just any sweatshirt or sweatpants, People like to dress.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I wish I need to lose weight. That's why yesterday I was wearing a jacket, I couldn't breathe. Now I'm wearing a loose shirt. I'm on a diet, so.
It's okay. In time for Elie Saab's menswear line, then.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, that's the motivation. So online, how is the online business doing? Where is the customer? And are you managing that circular journey that we spoke about earlier from store to online? What are the challenges?
I have to. I mean, I agree completely with Imran when he said, I mean, it's a full journey. You need the store as well as the online, the online for us. I mean, we started it at a time in, like I said, July 20. No budgets, no marketing. The only marketing we have is we have a strong following on our Instagram and social media. And, we have fantastic marketing. Noura Swaiti, marketing director, she's done an amazing job. And I think Noura is probably one of, I don't know if many people know that, she started the whole social blogging scene, Confashions. And no one else, she's the first one who did that. And she has done an amazing job, Snapchat, social media, Instagram, and so on. That's our marketing. We approached, I think, an advertising marketing company. They said, yes, it's going to cost you like $30,000-$40,000 a month, and we can get you there. I said, if I had $30,000-$40,000 a month to give you, I wouldn't do the online. That's fine. I don't need it. So I think it grew organically. It's doing very well. We're now, unfortunately, it's an old Magento, so now we're developing it. As we speak, we're working on a new one. And we're going to be launching another one directed towards North America and Europe as well.
Fantastic.
And I think it's not yet doing as good as a full store like Elie Saab is doing, but I think we're going to get there.
Yeah,
but again, my ambition is, I do like the stores. I do like the store interaction. This is only going to complement it. So we're not looking at, we can't be the next Net-a-Porter or Matches. We don't want to be the next Net-a-Porter or Matches.
I was going to say, do you feel the heat from those retailers increasing their attentions on the region, Arabizing their sites, and
what bothers me is their discount policy. They're cowards. They discount too early. They should stop discounting early. Honestly, people are already on sale when we just started.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. I mean, I know the customers are happy, but no, I'm not bothered. I welcome competition. No one knows our home like we do.
Yeah.
And they can try whatever they like. They're not gonna. We're here. We belong here.
And your selection is different.
We know. We have a direction. I mean, we're not gonna, like I said. I mean, we're not gonna be able to win everyone. But we want to try and win as many people as we can, and we want them to be happy about it.
Mm. And how do you view Kuwait's positioning within the GCC? Obviously, Dubai gets a lot of the attention when it comes to malls, biggest malls in the world, and skiing slopes and things like this. How does Kuwait fit into that, particularly with everything that's advancing in KSA? Doha will be obviously a huge centre of attention when the football comes. I don't know how many of them will be shopping in Al Othman, but
There you
maybe
go.
the footballers' wives will be.
I doubt it. They're used to taking everything for free, so they don't. We're not counting on them. Kuwait, listen, I mean, I think everyone is portraying Dubai is an amazing country. What they've cities, what they've established is amazing. It could probably be soon a fashion center, like maybe London and Paris. I mean, they're encouraging trade shows. They're encouraging. Why not have Dubai? Like Milan, New York, London, Italy, and then Dubai. Kuwait is a fashion destination. That's the difference. It's a fashion shopping in Kuwait. Selection-wise, I think is better than any other place. And I think the reason why we're going to Qatar is not because of the football. If you can get me tickets, I would love to go to the games. But it's not because of the football. We're going to Qatar because the Qataris want us to go, because they come here and they shop here. They shop in London. They like our edit. They tell us. The Saudis, they like our edit. They like our selection. Even the Emiratis, they like our edit. They come and buy because our selection addresses their needs. The selections in Dubai, I mean, monobrands are monobrands. They all look the same everywhere you go. There's no creativity. One creative person is making a decision on behalf of the rest of the world. We put a stamp. Our own identity is in every season, every week. There's a change in the store. Come tomorrow and come next week, you're going to see something has changed. And it's going to look different. And you're going to find new things. That's the challenge. And as long as we continue to do that, and I say this, excellent customer service, excellent relations with our customers, that's what matters. And that's how we can compete. I mean, we're the smallest of all of these big players. We're tiny compared to Altair, Shalhoub, all respectable, fantastic, Al Shaya, all respectable entities. We're the smallest. But, people compare us to them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. You might have the biggest heart.
Thank you.
You can feel it. You can feel it. Would you ever open in the UAE? Do you think?
I was going to a long time ago. Possibly. I mean, there's never. But honestly, my plan is now, like I said, Qatar, renovate London. I have always had the dream of, doing something in New York. So maybe New York first.
Well, that was going to be my final question, was what are the big dreams? What does the future look like?
I mean, I would like to maintain and grow with what we have. I mean, I hope I'm now a second generation. My son hopefully will be the third generation working in the business. We want to deal with, we want to work with more, I hope next year you come, we're dealing, not next, a few years, the fifth generation of clients. I hope we can continue to do what we're doing and doing it well. There's a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties, but I think we've gone through the difficult part. I'm very optimistic at what's coming. And this is a very supportive environment that we're in. Yes, okay, maybe you have difficulties. Unfortunately, people travel every chance they get. But you know what? It's still good. It's an amazing market. And you learn a lot. The customers teach you a lot. It's one market where the customers, first of all, they're very vocal. You have to listen. It's not that you can ignore. You cannot ignore. You have to listen. But they give you, they come and give us brands. I have customers who give me brands. You should, Rashad, try this. We got this from there. We saw that. And they're right. They have good taste. And the important thing is that we continue to follow up and give them what they want.
Yeah. It takes a huge amount of humility, I think, to take that from, as the business leader, to give your customer that power. And I really applaud you for that, because I think a lot of people think, I know better, I'm the owner of the business, but to really listen and engage and respect your customer to that degree is, I'm sure, what's behind the success of Al Othman. So No.
Hope so. I mean, it's natural. You can't do this on your own.
Yeah.
I could not do it without my team. They're over there. They deserve the applause, honestly.
Well, Rashad and Rashad's team, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing that with us. That
Thank
was
you.
honestly
Thank you.
so
Are we done? I
fascinating.
like this.
He wants to say, you want to tell us so much? Can I ask if anyone's got any
Sure,
questions?
sure.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions? Please be kind. Any questions? Manu, I'm sure you do. Could we have a microphone? 1, 2, 3, 4 rows back. Gentleman in the base.
That's going to be tough from Harvey Nichols.
Oh, he's up here, please. Thank you. Excuse me, sir. We'll start here. Everyone else, get your questions ready because it's going to be a while until he does this again. Unless you're totally converted, you'll be back on stage tomorrow.
No, listen, I want.
He's going to start a podcast next, right?
There you go.
So you are one of the most iconic retailers, obviously.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You
Thank
have vast heritage and experience. You have been discovering new designers. You have set the platform for them. You know your audience very well. You are someone that we all look up to.
Thank you.
Would you ever consider of starting your own line? Like menswear, but now ladies wear. You know your customer, you have the eye, you can
Starting
curate
my
a
own
collection.
line?
Yes, a collection for ladies wear, evening wear.
To be honest, no, because it wouldn't be fair. I mean, I'm a retail, I'm a merchant. I would be copying different ideas over the years from different people. I don't think it's fair that I copy what people have done and then to make it my own selection.
I mean, like Joseph Tedgui did in London many years ago, if you remember.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it was a different
I want to
line.
retire. I want to retire one day. I want my son
You have a
to
team.
take things seriously and then come and start learning and working with the team so I can retire a little bit. I don't think so. I like the way it is. I like the I enjoy. I wake up every morning. I'm excited about the new challenges that I have ahead of me. That's how I feel now, and I've got a lot of. For the next 2 years, I'm busy with these things, and let's see. Well, you never know. You never know.
Inshallah.
No. Will you buy the collection if I?
Let's talk.
There you go.
I'll give you my business cards afterwards.
Deals are getting done, people.
There you go.
Anyone else? And any more questions? Yes, please, over here. We have a few minutes before lunch. We'll try and get everyone in.
Hi, Rashad. I'm Bezza. Zainab wants me to ask, and I do have burning questions for you. I love evening wear, and I'm an evening wear designer as well. And I remember when people would ask me, and no disrespect to any other retailer, and like, where do you see yourself? I would always say like, Al-Uthman. Now alhamdulillah, I'm stocked in Kuwait. But my question is, because I'm sure there's a lot of designers here who have ready-to-wear or evening wear who would love to be in your store as local designers. And just like Al-Uthman sees that they understand their customer, we see that we understand our customer and have that specific and really detailed perspective to offer. So what is your criteria? Or how do you end up being in Al-Uthman, not as a pop-up, but as a really respected brand next to Roland Murray, next to Tony Matuszewski? And what criteria do you use to select and to give people that opportunity? Like sometimes if you get their foot in the door and you see their performance, Al-Uthman's like, okay, good. But how do, local designers, myself and everybody here included, appeal to you and your team? And is it a business side? Of course, there's that like creative side and that kind of instinct. But is it like a certain price point? Is it a certain margin? Is it a certain, I don't know. This is kind of my question.
Beza, last night I complimented Louise 2 times on her gown
Thank
that
you
she
so
was
much.
wearing from you.
Khalas,
Listen, I mean, we're open, obviously, to anything that is beautiful, that is commercially properly presented.
Right.
Do I get calls? I want to, showcase it at Al-Uthman every day, honestly. I think we would welcome having you or other local designers on board. It just has to be done the proper way. Line sheets, sampling, proper presentation, proper pricing. We shouldn't compete with each other. I mean, I can't work with, I mean, I'll give you an example. Home Collection, we work with a few Lebanese designers for Home Collection. They want to sell it less than they are offering to sell it in our store. We can't work that way. We still have to have a margin. So if it's a business perspective you want me to give you, I'm open to that, but you need to give me the same level of material to work with, let's say.
Yeah, I
You need to
understand.
and if you want to just showcase, you know, like we do Al-Kaftan, Al-Uthman, Kaftan, Al-Uthman, and so on, that's a different situation. But we're very open. We're very open. I would love to stock more local designers. We're looking for local buyers to join the team as buyers. We've advertised. We tried to steal from Harvey Nichols. It didn't work. But in all honesty, we're open to the idea.
So basically what you're saying, just so that I benefit and everybody is, I mean, I do have line sheets I present in Paris. So, and we're not talking about me specifically, but so you just want the business side of things to be presented in the industry standard way for the designer to be taken seriously.
No, you don't have to go to Paris. You can, but
And
just have
be serious enough to be
have the presentation, have the right production, have the proper whatever needed to do that, and we're happy to consider it. But then, you know, people have to understand and respect any positive criticism that we give back. But we're definitely open to that. We're working on a space to give a platform, but that doesn't answer your question. To give a platform to younger designers, but that's not what I'm answering you. I'm happy to buy Bazza Al-Zuman. I know you're carried in Kuwait, you're already in stock, but it has to be presented in a proper way, the way I would buy Tony Metshevsky or Elisab or what have you.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you, Bazza. There were a couple more, unless they have been answered. Any more hands in the air? Yes, please, if we could have a microphone there. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dalal. I'm a fashion stylist. So usually I direct my clients to Al-Uthman, whether for a trip or for their wedding or for whatever it is. And you mentioned something about stacking local designers. My question is, what about jewelry? لأن we have amazing local jewelry designers. يعني from the top of my head, we have Dhaba, Abrar, we have Mail Kassar. Yani there are a lot of amazing jewelry that I would love to see them in one place when I take my clients somewhere to prep them for everything they need. So that's my question.
Thank you for directing your customers, Dalal. I really appreciate it. If you can get me a license to display jewelry in Kuwait, I will. It's done. Consider it done. It's impossible. It's so difficult to get a jewelry license in Kuwait. It's practically impossible, honestly. We've been trying to do that. We can't, and it's very risky to display any real jewelry without the license. You go into very money laundering issues and stuff.
Thank you so much.
But if you can help, please.
I'll try my best.
Wallah, I mean
I'm sure someone in here can help Rashad on that. Anyone else? Would anyone else like to ask one final question before lunch? Yes, please. Dina, I believe, here. Yep. Thank you.
Hi, Rashad. This is Dina. Did you ever think of launching kids wear?
We did at one point. Yeah, we had few designers that we represented. But honestly, I think the space at that time was limited, and we definitely, it's something that's on the radar to do again. We're expanding our space. So we definitely are going to be open to doing more things. Let's say a year from now, or even less, by the end of the year, let's say. Thank you.
Oh, we have one more snuck in there. Of course.
Hello, Rashad.
Hello.
My name is Fawaz Liagout.
طبعا, I know you for
Thank you.
I've heard of you.
We haven't met, but I would like to thank you, and it's not a question, but to thank you for all the opportunities. When you invited me in 2018 for the Ramadan Kaftan, it was a Sadu theme, and that Sadu inspired me to add to the Khalayat DNA, and it still remains, and it's thanks to you and your company. And you're not just a retailer, you're a supporter for talent, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think that's a wonderful note to finish on. Rashad, you
This is touchy.
absolutely nailed it. Thank you so much. No one would have known you were terrified. You were amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank
what a
you all.
representative of retail and of fashion
Thank
in
you all very
Kuwait,
much,
Rashad.
really.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I'm so grateful. Lunchtime, everyone. We have a 2-hour break, I believe. So let me just, I was so carried away with that. I've lost my schedule. I will just ask everyone to be back here by 3:15 p.m., if possible, 3:15. So we have 2 hours to refresh, to digest everything we've heard and learnt, and come back ready for an inspiring afternoon. Thank you all so much.